Hey everyone, hopefully you're having a good day. My name's Andy. My channel's Finding Value. Today we're going to look at the daily technical analysis of crude oil and natural gas. We'll jump right in, give you my financial opinion. Here we go. So here is crude oil. We've broken out of this to the upside. Today we had a sharp reversal pattern, and it looks like aftermarket is coming up a little bit. Again, we're on top of the pattern though, so everything looks good. But we did have that sharp reversal today. Where we came up and basically finished back lower. We'll see if this thing drags us lower and we do a back test, or if we head higher. Again, the short term's the least, I'll call it the least probable of getting right, because anything can impact it. News, the mood, or someone coming out with some news. But yeah, that's what we got on the short term there. Natural gas, we had a large reversal day today. That's a bearish engulfing. We'll see if we head lower in it in the short term. And every pullback that we're getting in these hasn't been very long. It hasn't been sustaining. So we'll see what happens with natural gas. XOP, yeah, you know me. We do have a bearish piercing pattern where we could head a little bit lower. That's what I'm seeing in the short term. Looking at SM, another one that's got a reversal pattern where we could head a little bit lower. That's a bearish piercing with a lot of reversal in it. We had a nice big momentum move, and this is a short-term topping pattern where we could pull back a little bit. Again, I don't know the size of this pullback. It could be very shallow. So again, I try not to make those predictions or projections. So again, I'm just holding on to my shares. CDV, another one that's got a little bit of a reversal. It's not really a reversal pattern, but it just sell off today. Momentum's heading a little bit lower, I should say. Crew Energy, another one with momentum going a little bit lower, but again, it was an up day, still looking okay. CPE, another one that reversed momentum right at that resistance line. Athabasca Oil, another one that reversed momentum. It gapped higher, but sold off throughout the day. Momentum's heading a little bit to the downside. Doesn't mean that the move is done or anything like that. We might just have a down day or two. Looking at recaf, it's coiling on up to go somewhere. We'll see what that somewhere is very soon. CPG, another one with momentum heading a little bit lower. Northern Oil and Gas, this is a bearish piercing. We could head a little bit lower. GTE, we gapped up, sold off a little bit. Still a very big up day. Tellurian, kind of looking at this. Yeah. It's just a little bit of a sell-off. We'll see if we head lower tomorrow. Pedevco moving sideways, momentum-wise. It was up. It gapped up, but momentum kind of came back down. Oasis, bearish piercing. We could head a little bit lower. And again, guys, remember, I'm not selling any of my shares. I'm just riding this. The short term is the hardest to read. I'm going to continue to say that, because I don't want people to be jumping in and out, even though we could see, like for instance, this here is a bearish pattern in the short term, and then we threw another bullish piercing right after it, which reversed that direction. So, I mean, you can throw patterns back and forth quite immensely, and this is a bearish engulfing here that pushed it down, but we didn't really go down that much. We went sideways through a bullish engulfing, headed higher, came back, another bullish piercing with a bearish right in front. I mean, it's going back and forth, the buyers and sellers around this area. CRK throwing in a bearish engulfing. Hopefully we can head lower in it. SD, bearish engulfing, usually resolves itself lower. REI, bearish piercing, usually head a little bit lower. Surge Energy with a little wick at the top, a little bit of selling pressure up there. Tamarack Valley getting a wick at the top, a little bit of selling pressure again, reversing throughout the day. Crescent Energy, a little bit of a momentum down day. It was an up day because it gapped higher. Vermilion getting a little bit more selling pressure. We've got Meg Energy sideways, and Obsidian trying to break its 52-week highs, but getting a little bit of selling pressure. Energy Service Companies, OIH. Again, we're getting a little bit more selling pressure. It reversed throughout the day. We could head a little bit lower in the short term. Looking at Tetra Technologies, again, looks like we're getting a little bit more selling pressure in the short term, heading lower. Rig, bearish engulfing, heading lower. Looking at pump, getting the wicks at the top a little bit on PUMP and EXTN, which means we could head a little bit lower in the very short term. A little bit more selling pressure in Valeris. We'll see what happens there. MRM, a little bit of buying pressure. That one looks good. Tidewater putting in a bearish engulfing. We could head lower. NEX, next year, Oilfield Solutions, getting a little bit more bearish right at that resistance line. KLXE, we gapped higher in the morning but sold off throughout the day. Momentum's heading a little bit lower. CHX right at the resistance line, selling off a little bit. Cactus Energy getting a little bit of selling pressure. 9 short-term selling pressure. OII, a little bit of wick at the top. We've got Noble Energy selling off a little bit. Helix Energy Solutions just moving sideways. Doesn't look too bad. CGGYY moving up. That looks good. Just pulling back with Petrofax. Small down days. It looks fine. Nothing to worry about there. McCoy Global moving higher, and Diamond Offshore getting a little bit of selling pressure. Bearish piercing, perhaps. But overall, guys, looks like we might head a little bit lower. That's where I'm at least just by looking at the charts. Again, I'm not selling anything. I'm not doing anything. I think that we have an energy crisis coming. Could we sell off for the next couple of days? It's possible. Maybe we do a retest in oil. But you know, sometimes you get these signals and they're false signals too. That's the reason I don't trade in the short term anymore. I used to, and I just don't like it. I make far more money going long the big trends and then cost averaging in, not worrying about the short term. It's very stressful on the short term to be trying to trade this stuff. So I take positions for the big move or the big trend, ride the trend higher, and that's how I play it. It's as simple as that. And as long as you've got inventories that are depleting, and we do, I would stay long. That's what I'm doing. So, I mean, if you guys like this analysis, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the website, the Platinum membership, if you guys want to see some of the companies that I'm actively looking at or buying. But right now, you know, a little bit of short-term selling pressure. That's what I'm seeing. And this could reverse very quickly. I'm not saying that we're going to get this huge pullback. Is it the start of a big pullback? I mean, maybe, but we got to see the seller step in here and whomp it. It did reverse quite hard, which makes me think that somebody kind of drew all the buyers in to reverse it down and sell into that buying pressure. So it does make me think that we could have a short-term pullback here of some size. We'll see how big it is. All right, guys, we'll catch you next time. This is Finding Value.